Hello and welcome to Peace at Home Parenting. My name is Amy Kostak and I am joined by Ruth Freeman today to talk about our October challenge. Ruth, you want to say hello?
Hi, folks. I'm the founder of Peace at Home Parenting, and the challenge was to spend 15 minutes every day with your child, enjoying them, no interruptions, no technology, um, and engaging with them in positive ways, telling them what you appreciate about them, and having fun. And parents tell us this can be really difficult to do it every day. And if you can't do it every day, do it on a regular basis if you can, in a predictable time, and do it for 10 minutes if you have to.
And we chose to do it during World Mental Health Month. And Ruth, do you want to share why we chose this month? How will this benefit our kids' mental health?
Good question. Children's mental health is built on their relationship with you. You're the first relationship. You are the model for how to see the world. You are the model for how to relate to each other. It's a big responsibility, but don't carry it too heavily. We all do it imperfectly. But your connection with your child, your attachment, the child's feeling of being seen, safe, soothed, and secure in this relationship is what informs all their relationships and influences their mental health. There's many factors influencing mental health, but you have a big influence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we want to invite everybody to join the challenge, even if you haven't started already. We are 11 days into October, but you can start now. You can go for 31 days. You can start now and go for the rest of the month. We talked last week about if you have multiple kids, maybe you do one kid each month over the next several months. So it's not too late to join our October challenge. The rules of the challenge are just to spend 15 minutes a day with your child, one-on-one, no technology, no distractions, no multitasking. I wanted to talk a little bit today about technology, Ruth. So I have read some studies. I'm in grad school right now for clinical mental health counseling. I've read some studies about how people have this sort of perceived sense that they're busy all the time because they're always on their phone. So people are maybe busier than they ever had in the past, but they also don't have any downtime because in downtime, they're on their phones. And I think we have parents saying that they don't have time to do this 15 minutes a day with their kids. And I think that it might have something to do with the fact that they are on technology. Do you have thoughts about that, Ruth?
Well, even one of our teachers who took the challenge a few years ago, who's a very devoted dad, he said, and we were doing 20 minutes a day at the time. He said, I was sure I was spending 20 minutes a day with my child, but it actually wasn't uninterrupted, 20 uninterrupted minutes without technology or screens. And by interruptions, we include glancing at your phone. So I think the habit of looking at our phones is so deeply embedded in us. And parents tell us that it's a change to have 20 uninterrupted non-technological minutes. So your guess based on that research that folks are glancing at their phone a lot is probably accurate. And the truth is that, often what you're looking at on your phone gives you a little hit of dopamine. So you feel a little relieved, you have a little good feeling. And I want to make a distinction between dopamine and serotonin. Robert Lustig, the pediatric endocrinologist, does a great job of this. I have a little cold, so I apologize if I'm sniffing or blowing my nose. But dopamine is an excitatory, feel-good neurotransmitter, a chemical in your brain. And so, for example, if you're watching, which I get addicted to, reels on Facebook, reels is they're so attuned to me. They give me meditation. They give me friends. They give me the nanny. They give me great exercise for seniors. They know me so well. So, so
Those
I
are just funny.
yeah.
Yours is very different from mine. I don't get meditations. I get funny.
Well, I get funny sitcoms in between meditation and exercise for seniors, but nevertheless, those are hits of dopamine. Boom, boom. They do it just the right length. They know the pieces they're choosing, and what you're doing with your child, the 15 minutes of just uninterrupted, pleasurable time, enjoying each other, ideally looking in their eyes. We talked last week about how when you look into your kids' eyes, and you look into anyone's eyes, both you and the person you're looking at, their stress hormones in the brain go down. And so enjoying your child is serotonin. And serotonin is also a feel good brain chemical, but it's a brain chemical that's soothing. So when I'm looking at those reels, if I keep looking at them, the brain says, "Oh, too much excitation, too much excited energy." And the brain tries to calm it down. So you get less dopamine from those hits, and it means that you need more of the stimulation to get the same good feeling, because the brain is trying to shut down all that excitation, and it's what gets you addicted. So I might have spent 5 minutes last night, but tonight I need 7 minutes to have the same feeling. And the same thing happens to our kids with gaming, which is why this pediatric endocrinologist is talking about this. But serotonin, which happens when you're with people and connecting with people you care about, that feel good neurotransmitter is endless. It's not excitatory, it's calming, and you can't get too much serotonin. So you could spend 5 hours playing with your kid or just hanging out with your family, and your brain's going to feel good. So I'm making this distinction because, Amy, you're talking about how the research is saying we're popping onto our phone all the time,
Mhm.
and that's the that's the addiction. We keep doing that. That uninterrupted time with people we love is going to make your brain feel good, but in a calmer way, and not addictive at all.
Mhm. I know a few dads who love to play video games with their kids. And I know we said last week that we want to stay away from all technology during this time. But I do think that for them it's connecting and they kind of have a glimpse into their child's world. But do you think this dopamine serotonin distinction is more reason to not be spending your quality time with your kid doing this? What do you think?
Well, it's exactly what you said, Amy. You said there was a question from a parent about how do I do this 15 minutes with teenagers when they just think I'm a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
And, getting to know your teenagers' online world, or your kids, getting to know the games they play and getting to know what it means to them. I mean, there's certain games that are quite complex and they're about building whole worlds, and you really do get an insight into how your child sees the world and what's important to them. Understanding teenagers or kids music, even if it sounds horrible to you, one way to spend time with a teenager is to just ask them about their favorite musician. Ask them to hear it with them, listen to it with them, and then ask them, what do you like about this? What's the message that you like? What about the music do you like? What you know um, when we listen to music that moves us, it creates endorphins. It creates really good body chemistry. So while your kid's music probably isn't going to inspire endorphins in you, especially if they're a teenager, um, understanding them and seeing the world from their point of view, it's exactly what you were saying, is entering into their world. So
Mhm.
no peace at home rules are hard and fast, except I guess I would say that corporal punishment not being particularly useful for kids might be a hard and fast rule for us. Although there's even mixed research on that, but I won't go into that today. But I would say that, if playing a game with your kid is great, do it sometimes, but not always. It definitely shouldn't be the only way that you're spending time together.
Mhm. Okay. Um, do you have other ideas for teens besides the if we're not listening to music, we're not playing video games? If I've never done this with my teenager before, it can be an awkward thing to say, we're
Yeah.
gonna spend 15 minutes in next to each other. How do you introduce that to a teen and what do you do?
Well, I would I would have a conversation with the teen, and I would ask them what they enjoy. You might want to go out for a quick meal. You might want to go out for breakfast. You might want to ask them to take a walk with you. But I would say to them, I feel like you're growing up really fast, and we're all so busy we don't get to spend time together. I would like to create just a little time slot where we really connect. I'd love to do it every day, but what works for you? I mean, this is part of adolescent development. The negotiation of the parent-child relationship changes, and the teen negotiates a new arrangement. They get more freedoms if they're responsible. They discipline changes. So negotiating this and having a conversation is exactly how to do it. And if things are really bad between you, if you're having really difficult times, I would say to them, I want to hear from you about why you're not coming out of your room very much. I want to hear from you about things I'm doing that are making you uncomfortable, if that's what's happening, or what's going on in your world. And you may have to ask for 5 minutes of conversation. You want to do a little bit at a time, but tune into your kids' interests, whether you like them or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. What if
child.
On the other end of the spectrum, what if you have a young child who is very easily distracted? Do you think that we had questions about should I be doing the same activity for this whole 15 minutes? Is it okay to be changing activities? Should I be doing different things every day? What are your thoughts?
There's no wrong way to do this. I think that tuning into the child and following them a bit, but you can also take a little leadership. You can, like my granddaughter and I like to do drawing and crafts together. And just if I built her this whole crafts table with stuff, and it's just like heaven for both of us. And so just sitting down at her crafts table and looking at stuff. But if kids get distracted, there's no wrong way to do this, especially with young children. You're kind of following them with younger kids. But you can take some initiative and you can cue them a little bit. Wait, I want to finish this book first. Let's read this whole book. But pay attention to what you're doing and how you're doing it. Like if you're reading to a child, if you're reading together, but you're not interactive and you're not asking them questions, you're not engaging with them, maybe that's not the way to connect with them. So take the feedback too.
Mm-hmm. And then what if I don't like the activity that they want to do? I remember you telling a story once, Ruth, about how your daughter liked Candyland and you hated Candyland. Is this something that, we want parents to be interested in the things their kids are interested in and kind of learning about their kids in this time? Is it okay to say, I don't want to play this game?
Don't say Candyland. I think this is a give and take. So I did play Candyland sometimes. But it's like, okay, we'll play your game and then let's play my game. And today let's play your game. Tomorrow we'll play my game. So, it can be a give and take. You don't want to be sitting there being grumpy. That's going to defeat the purpose. So I would, one of the most important things here is the exchange. It's the back and forth. And it's the listening, and it's the engaging, and it's navigating. How do we solve this? We want to play something, but you don't like Candyland, and I don't like this. And so, what can we do? And just asking the question out loud and brainstorming together and solving problems together. It's about learning about them, connecting with them.
Great. All right, we only have about 1 minute left. We're coming on for 15 minutes every Friday because we're asking you to do 15 minutes a day. We will be back next Friday, and if you're able to just come on and share your successes, ask your questions, and then the last Friday, it's actually going to be November 1st, we're going to be going live on Zoom, so we'll get to see all of your faces too. Anyone who's taken the challenge can join us on Zoom on November 1st. Any last words, Ruth?
No, I just want to remind folks that children look to us to see how the world is going. And there's a lot going on around us right now that's really concerning and frightening. And the geopolitical world, the the weather. There's so many complications. And I just want to remind you to do your best to, when you come home, create home to be a sanctuary, and let yourself feel the joy with your kids to the best of your ability. They're looking at your face and your body language to signal how the world is. And your words aren't as powerful as your body language, your tone, and your own inner life. So um, let yourself kind of lean into those moments when you just take delight in them.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thanks,
Have a good
Amy.
day, everyone.